Have you ever heard a story so incredible it sounds like a myth? A tale of a king and his handful of warriors who stood against an empire and became a legend for all time. Today we re-journeying back 2,500 years to one of history's most iconic last stands, the Battle of Thermopylae. This isn't just a story of swords and shields, it's a story about the unshakable power of the human spirit. Imagine the scene. It's 480 BC. Xerxes, the mighty king of Persia, has assembled an army of unimaginable size. Some ancient historians claimed millions, though modern estimates suggest a more realistic yet still staggering 1 to 300,000 soldiers. His goal: to conquer Greece, to swallow it whole and add it to his sprawling empire. The Greek city-states were fractured, bickering, and terrified. Many surrendered without a fight. It seemed all hope was lost, but not in Sparta. In this militaristic society, where every boy was forged into a warrior from the age of 7, fear was not an option. Their king was a man named Leonidas. He was not a mythical figure. He was a real hardened leader, a product of the brutal Spartan training system known as the Ago. When the Persian envoys demanded earth and water, the symbols of submission, the Spartans famously threw them down a well, telling them to dig for it themselves. The message was clear: Sparta would not bow. However, there was a problem. A major religious festival, the Carnia, was underway, during which warfare was strictly forbidden. The Spartan council refused to deploy the full army until the festival was over, but waiting was not an option. The Persian tide was coming. So, King Leonidas made a fateful decision. He would march north with his personal bodyguard, the 300 elite soldiers of the royal guard, all of them veterans, all of them fathers with sons to carry on their names. This wasn't a suicide mission in their minds. It was a strategic delay. They were going to buy time for the rest of Greece to rally. They chose their ground with masterful precision, a narrow coastal pass called Thermopylae, which translates to the Hot Gates. On one side were steep, impassable cliffs, and on the other, the sea. Here, the Persians' overwhelming numbers would count for nothing. The massive army would be funneled into a bottleneck where they could only face the Greeks a few at a time. Along with the 300 Spartans, several thousand other Greek allies joined the cause, including Thespians and Thebans, standing shoulder to shoulder against the coming storm. For 2 days, the impossible happened. The Greeks held the pass. The Spartans, with their iconic bronze helmets, crimson cloaks, and large round shields, formed a wall of bronze and muscle known as the phalanx. Their long spears bristled outwards, creating a meat grinder for anyone who dared to charge. Wave after wave of Persian infantry, including Xerxes' own elite unit, the Immortals, were thrown against this unbreachable wall, and wave after wave were cut down. The sheer discipline and skill of the Spartans were unlike anything the Persians had ever encountered. Xerxes, watching from his throne on a nearby hill, is said to have leaped to his feet in fury and frustration 3 times as his best troops were slaughtered. The Greek heroes fought with a courage that bordered on the divine. The air was thick with the hiss of arrows, so numerous they were said to blot out the sun. A Spartan named Dinix, when told this, simply replied, "Good, then we shall have our battle in the shade." This was the Spartan spirit, defiant, unflinching, and laced with a grim sense of humor even in the face of certain death. They were holding the line, performing a miracle. But history is often turned by betrayal. A local man named Ephialtes, hoping for a rich reward from Xerxes, revealed a hidden mountain path that would allow the Persians to bypass the main pass and attack the Greeks from behind. When Leonidas learned that they were being surrounded, he knew the end was near. His mission, however, was not over. He dismissed the bulk of the Greek allies, ordering them to retreat, and warned the other cities. He knew they were Greece's future, but Leonidas and his 300 Spartans would not retreat. They would stay. They were joined by 700 Thespians who voluntarily chose to share their fate, a sacrifice often overshadowed by the Spartan legend but no less heroic. Their final stand was not about victory in the traditional sense. It was about honor, duty, and sending a message to Xerxes and the world. It was a message written in blood, that free men would rather die on their feet than live on their knees. The final battle was an act of pure, desperate valor. Surrounded on all sides, their spears broken, their shields shattered, the last of the Spartans and Thespians fought with their short swords, and when those were lost, with their bare hands and teeth, they fought until every last one of them, including King Leonidas, was killed. They sold their lives dearly, taking a heavy toll on the Persians until the very end. In the immediate aftermath, it looked like a Persian victory. Xerxes had won the battle, but the war for hearts and minds was just beginning. The story of the 300 spread like wildfire throughout Greece. Their incredible sacrifice shamed the wavering city-states into action and inspired a level of unity and determination that had been missing. It lit a fire that could not be extinguished. Later that year, a united Greek naval force, inspired by the stand at Thermopylae, lured the Persian navy into the narrow straits of Salamis and crushed them. The following year, at the Battle of Plataea, a massive combined Greek army, with the Spartans at its heart, decisively defeated the Persian land forces, ending the invasion for good. The stand at Thermopylae was not a failure. It was the ultimate sacrifice that paved the way for the ultimate victory. It demonstrated that a small group of determined individuals, bound by a common purpose and unbreakable courage, could stand against the world's greatest power and change the course of history. Today, a simple monument stands at Thermopylae. On it is an inscription, an epitaph for the fallen Spartans, that reads, "Go tell the Spartans, stranger passing by, that here, obedient to their laws, we lie." It's a quiet testament to a loud and glorious moment in history. The story of Leonidas and his 300th reminds us that some principles, freedom, honor, and courage, are worth fighting for, and sometimes even dying for. Their legacy is not just about a battle. It's about the enduring power of sacrifice and the indomitable will to be free. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you found this story as inspiring as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more epic tales from history. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious.